New bike day, new bike day. This is my new 2020 Commencal Furious. The 2021 is the same model as this, just different paint job. My name is Erich von Cartman. You guys should join my Facebook page, my Facebook group page. It's called Hobby Discussions, No Bands. Because we're not like little bitches. We don't need to like tattle on each other because somebody hurt your feelings. If somebody hurt your feelings, freaking man up, man, and don't get your feelings hurt. So yeah, it's an anything go hobby discussion page. You can discuss guns, mountain bikes, jet skis, motorcycles, football, baseball, knitting, whatever your hobby is, it's open for discussions. Even politics is allowed. The only thing I ask is please no physical threats, okay? No physical threats, all right? And no child molesting, no child pedophiles. That's the only thing I ask of my Facebook group page. So let's talk about my Commencal Furious here. So I mentioned my name is Erich von Cartman. I'm going to speak louder here because I'm further from the microphone. So this is my new 2020 Commencal Furious. I decided to go for the small frame because the small frame is still pretty big. It's a long bike. It's 1,220 millimeters. All right, that's how long the wheelbase is. The reach, from bottom bracket right here to here is 440 millimeters, which puts it about the same size as a large Scott Gambler. 2016 large Scott Gambler is about the same size in reach-wise. Same thing with the 2021 Santa Cruz V10. That one reach is only 430, and this one's 440. When I said the Santa Cruz, I'm talking about the medium Santa Cruz V10. That one is 430 millimeters, the reach. This one's 440. So this is a pretty big bike for a small bike. Now, as I mentioned, this bike is only 1225. Well, I shouldn't say only. It's a pretty long for a small bike. Medium would be 1250 millimeter wheelbase, and I didn't want to go with that 1250. Medium reach is 465. I normally ride a medium reach, but 465, I feel like I'm stretched out just a little bit too much. So even 450, I feel a little bit stretched out too much with a 50 millimeter stem. So I've been playing with reach a lot the last 4 years, and I found that 450 is really my ideal, right? So 450, well, I shouldn't say 450. 450 is my max. I think 450 is the max reach I can go. 430, 440 is fine, and I like that those measurements for the reach. So Commencal Furious 2021. It's a beautiful bike. The lines are freaking gorgeous. That's one of the things that sold me on this bike was the lines and the way it looked. And I always like a neutral color bike, whether it be gray, tan, black, white, dark gray, light gray, because I like the parts to be colorful and the frame to be kind of a neutral color. All these parts here came off of my 2016 Scott Gambler, so it's not really new. The only new parts is the pedals. Here, I'll take a walk around here. So this is the only new part. Amp straight line pedals. Chris King headset. AMS frame protection kit is beautiful, as you can see. Go Raiders. Commitment to excellence, baby. As you can see, I put a Raider decal in the front. Fox 40 is a 2016 Fox Float 40 RC2. But I'm going to get a grip damper. A Grip2 damper is on the way. So basically, this thing will have a 2019 to 2021 internals. I have 2 sets of Magic Marys, soft tires, downhill tires, 2.35. The rims are DT rims, but they're labeled with Syncros. DT 350 hub in the back. and DT370 hub in the front. Look at the gorgeous lines and the length on this bike. E.thirteen chain guide and bash guard. Saint crankset with a 36 tooth chainring. 10-speed Ultegra cassette. Shimano Ultegra. Saint rear derailleur. Saint brakes. Saint brake levers. Syncros 1.5 downhill seat post and seat, which is off of my Gambler. So basically everything from the Gambler except for the rear shock, the headset, and the pedals. I could have used the same bottom bracket, but I decided to just put a new bottom bracket on this one. I didn't want to tap the old one out. So the Furious Commencal uses this full bar design. As you can see, the pivot is on the top seat stay, right, and not the bottom, right? So I think it pedals great. I've been pedaling this bike. This bike, I feel, man, if I put a dropper on this thing, you know, and better gearing, I probably could use this as a trail bike. Even it would be a very heavy trail bike, but it's not that heavy. It's 37 pounds, and when you talk about, you know, a souped up Mega Tower, or, you know, you're talking 33 pounds. So it's, you know, I mean, come on, 4 pounds. It's a big difference, but, you know, it's not that big of a difference. Saint brakes. A lot of people don't like the full bar design because they talk about brake jack, but how can you have brake jack? Look, see this? This is the brake caliper mount. It is on the bottom chainstay here, right? So it's on the chainstay. So how can you get brake jack when the brake is mounted on the chainstay? You know, it's the same with the FSR link design, right? I mean, so brake jack is when, so people complain about brake jack, but really brake jack is a V brake thing, because when the brakes were on the seat stay, like V brakes, right, like right here, what happens is when the brake stops the wheel, right here, when the brake stops the wheel, the shock will want to compress. So they call it brake jack or brake squat. But that's not going to happen on this design or any design where the, you know, the brake mount is on the chainstay. So, yep, I feel this bike pedals better than any FSR bike. And I rented a Scott Gambler 2015 Scott Spark. I felt that bike pedaled great. I bought a China bike, you know, a Velo build. That bike has the same faux bar design as this bike, and that bike pedaled great also. And I still have that the China bike. It's not as good as the Ibis DW Link, but it pedals still pretty good. So here's a Saint in the front. Let me walk around. So it's a beautiful bike. I did some limited downhill runs around here, but unfortunately I had to pedal and walk up the hills around here. So she hasn't really been tested yet. So this weekend she's gonna go to Bootleg Canyon, get some work in. I'm gonna try to do 3 runs, shuttle up, and find somebody else to maybe trade shuttle with. And then Bryan Head Ski Resort in 2 weeks. And that, can't wait for that. Can't wait to ride this bike. Already, I'm loving the bike, the limited downhill runs I had with it. She's great so far. For me, it's a big bike for me because it's the longest bike that I will ever own at 1225 millimeters. And so we'll see how that. I'm okay with that. I probably could have gone bigger, but I wasn't sure if I wanted that. So, because my thing is about playfulness and not about speed. You know, if I was about speed, I'd get the Commencal Supreme. That is Commencal's real downhill bike. And like I said, this one is considered more of a a free ride bike and a park bike, a borderline downhill bike. But I like this one a lot better because the lines look better than Supreme. I didn't like the lines of the Supreme. And you know me, I'm all about look. Since I'm not racing, I might as well buy a bike that looks good, right? Who wants to ride an ugly looking bike? Supreme is, I don't know, it kind of looks kind of ugly with the curves. So, let me walk around. Let me show you how well the paint job is, right? I mean, that is a beautiful paint job, you know, and the AMS frame kit makes it look good. The cable routing is awesome. Right here is the frame fork bumpers. And you see how the cable routing comes out there. The brake line is the same way on the other side. It comes out. You know, you can have access to the center channel right here. They access the cables. And then it comes out right there. Goes in back there. And the rear brake line goes there to the rear brake, and the rear mech line goes right out there to the rear mech or rear derailleur. So I have this bike looking good, as you can see, because I'm a handsome guy myself. Probably like the most handsome YouTuber. You ever notice how most mountain bikers, they're freaking ugly? So I help the mountain bike community look better because I'm so freaking handsome, man. All right, Cartman out. Join my Facebook group.